Everybody, welcome back to the Wolves Den podcast. So before we get started with this episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button. Follow us at Tactical Inc. for your merch, and then also follow us on Instagram at Wolves Den House. And before that, go and subscribe to Charles Gracie on Tracy and Charles Gracie Mountain House. So let's get started.
Yeah, well, to my left, obviously, is someone who's really important to everyone, but he's an 8th degree black belt with over 54 years of jiu-jitsu experience, a business owner that operates over 20 academies in California as well as Nevada, and he's also a published author. Today, ladies and gentlemen, Master Charles Gracie.
It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I know always people like to get some information about the Gracie family history, jiu-jitsu history, and my personal life, and I hope you guys can have a lot of fun, and thanks so much for both of you guys for having me here.
Well, I'm glad you're thanking us early, but you might want to take that back later, depending on how this interview goes. But I was going to get to the meat of it. Who was your influence and inspiration for your martial arts journey specifically?
Well, it's always people ask me that question, and it's my uncle, Rolls Gracie, where he dies in early 80s. On the paraglide accident. So I used to train with him since I'm a little kid, but he's always on my heart and always on my guidance in life, not just on the personal, but actually in jiu-jitsu as well.
Well, and speaking of your uncle, and that's kind of what I was leading into, like, what was it like training with your Uncle Holes?
Well, as you see in every jiu-jitsu history, any competitors, any athletes, jiu-jitsu practitioners. Rolls is something else. It's completely different person in life and jiu-jitsu wise. I feel very lucky to be one of his students and training under him. So probably everybody back then feel the same thing. If it's your life today, I know jiu-jitsu will be in a different, completely different level. He's something with his age, in the 30s, he's holding the whole family together. We used to have qualifies for jiu-jitsu tournaments and all the Gracie schools. Of course, after he passed away, things changed a little bit, but he's not just the person, but it's in jiu-jitsu, it's unbeatable. He's back then, imagine the 80s, he took us to wrestling, freestyle tournaments, back the influence in jiu-jitsu, especially because you don't have that many jiu-jitsu tournaments back then. Right. And he's outgoing, he loves challenges, and he came to United States, some other different countries, competing in the judo, sambo, wrestling, the freestyle, Greco-Roman, and he succeeded pretty well.
Because he kind of scouted the United States for everybody, right, for the Gracies?
Yes,
right?
Yes. He came to the United States. He made good friends in here with his personality. And then he brought a lot of people from the United States to Brazil on the engagement with the martial arts and trade a lot of information. So he's the one really did the connection before Rorion and Royce brought the UFC in the early 90s. But he's the one did all these connections in between jiu-jitsu and the different martial arts styles.
So was he always kind of on the business end of things too as well, or was it just mostly the martial arts side of it?
No, he's just straight teaching, because he used to teach my grand-uncle Helio's academy until he decided open his own academy with my uncle Charles Gracie. And then he's more in the business as a teacher, but he's more towards to teaching people what they need, what they're looking for. It's a completely different vision with everybody else. He's always see things ahead of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, and you said he's different. So how would and that was the way the term you used to describe him. Can you elaborate, like just how he's different? What sets him apart?
Well, first I think his personality, because he's adventure, find stuff, and he never have anything to stop him what he's really looking for. In Jiu-Jitsu, like I said, he's a completely different level. You can see he line up a bunch of black belts, on his academy, and he able to meet everybody, and without just spend one sweating on his techniques. And he's very technical, and he don't mind. He's not afraid to teaching his students, to make his students better every single day. So he's a very good heart person, very honest, and treat everybody on the nice way. It's hard to see if he has any enemies or animosities or things like that with anybody. So he's very friendly.
Where'd you guys train at? Was it a gym? Did you guys have a gym or just?
We have our own academy in Copacabana, on the street called Figueiredo de Magalhães, and on the second, the third store, have a big mat area on the third one, and then on the second one has 2 mat areas and reception.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we have our own place over there.
So since you guys were children, it was instilled into you growing up and doing jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
It was like just grinding and doing jiu-jitsu? Was it like every single day, or was it?
Yeah, it's something what we try to do with our family members when they born. It's take them to the academy. It doesn't have to be every day, but example, my kids or my grandkids today, they go to the academy, they play a little bit, have fun. So make sure that place, it's part of their house. It's something you need to slowly introduce to them. So like in school, right? So your kid has to go to school every single day. You don't complain, they don't complain about school, why I need to go to the school or something. And we try to do the same thing with the Jiu-Jitsu at the academy, because we don't want to struggling later on. They want us to do something else. They can do something. They can do different sports, but Jiu-Jitsu is part of their life. So that it's something with the Grace family try, with every single of us. So this is the same thing happens to me. I remember when a little kid, my dad took me to the academy several times, and Holly's the one it connected more with me. And then because he's younger back then, and he picked me up at home and take him for trips, take to the academy. So it's something when it's time for you to put the gi on and start training, you don't even ask why or when I started, because it's very natural. My son born, I gave him a gi. And then after that, I gave him some toys. But a gi comes right away. So since they born it, they see it, the uniforms. So they getting used to it with the mats.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. It makes sense because, especially with kids, you really got to make them feel comfortable and establish that trust with them, and you guys didn't quite have a choice maybe, but it worked out in the end. It was definitely for a good reason.
Yeah, normally we say we don't have a choice, but we do. But it's something very natural transition for your life. And when you get out of the high school, goes to college, get your degree, it's the same thing with the academy. So when you go to the academy every single day and you start see where you want to be, where you want to go, who you want to be. So, and that's why we decided to continue the business, let's take that name, because it's with our passion, what we love to do it. So I feel very lucky, like my son, now he's helping and to run the academies. We feel very lucky because we want to go to the academy every single day. Imagine if you hate your job and you have to wake up every single day and walk into your job, to your work, and you have to do that job.
Yeah.
You know, and it pretty much it's a lifestyle thing, you know. And I see on this many years I've been teaching, and beside the years I've been training before, and I tell example parents, you know, it's something with jiu-jitsu. It's like a school, right? So prepare you for your life down the road. You know, give you people say discipline in different martial art, but it's a lot of commitment. You know, discipline, self-esteem. You're looking for your identity, right? So if you need to raise your kids, looking for jobs, and jiu-jitsu is connected because if you see, when you put people train, not just the kids, but even the adults, but we talk about kids, because that's the biggest sport growing, the biggest sport growing all over the world is jiu-jitsu, especially with the kids. So when you see kids with their confidence, right, what they growing, what they doing, you have your touch on that, makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know.
Yeah, because you guys have been helping a lot of kids who also been bullied and have doing different things in school, like the kids who've been in trouble and being bullied, and they come and they really want you guys' help to kind of give them guidance.
Right. And especially because when some people ask me questions about, you know, the difference between our schools and some other academies, how the way we run, jiu-jitsu, it takes a lot of work. It takes time because it's different from other sports. Let's say soccer is a seasonal sport. Basketball is a seasonal sport. But the coaches, they don't have time to teaching every single kid how to kick the ball, how to shoot the ball, right? So they want the best athletes to go to the tournaments. So in jiu-jitsu is different. You have to custom-made pretty much every single student from 4 years old to 80 years old. You have to see what the difficulties they have, what they're looking for, right? And what their goal. Because if you don't help them, this is a go against the jiu-jitsu philosophy, right? So that's why in our schools, we try help the kids, we try help the adults, and you try help people wants to be the world champion, people wants to do this exercise, people come for the friendship, and that's why we do it the job for every single one. I don't compare our students between them because you can be a very smart guy to get all the techniques right away. You get the kids the same thing. But some other kids or some other adults are struggling, right? So we need to understand what's the issue, what the problem they have, and then we need to work on it. And that's why we pretty much saying that jiu-jitsu is a long-term way to train because we need to know each other. We need to know our students, you know, so we can help every single one to achieve their goal.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think that's good too because I think some martial arts, I'm not going to name names, but some martial arts, I think instead of tailoring it to each practitioner, they try to just make it easier for everybody. And I think that's problematic because you're selling a product, but you're not really standing by it because those people aren't really going to be trained properly. They're not going to know how to use their body like you do with jiu-jitsu. Like you said, you take time. You got to learn your own body before your coaches almost even can help you too.
Yep.
So I think it's a lot of self-identity, rediscovery.
Yep.
You know, it's almost like breaking us down and then building us back up.
Yep.
Like the white belt is literally just all humility, and then you're just, okay, this is how we need to build you up now.
Yep. And you have a history behind, example, the belt promotions, okay? Because each belt you receive, it's a step on your life you need to go through. Identity, self-confidence, you know, self-esteem, be humble, be honest, be friendly with the people, right? So if you see a kid, a bigger kid, you start picking the smaller kids, right? So what's this future is going to be? So you need to understand, you need to help the little ones. But you have the little ones beating the biggest ones, right? And sometimes the bigger one get discouraged.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to train anymore because but that is, you have to be humble. So when you tap when you're sparring someone, that means something, right? So you need to understand, it doesn't matter size, it doesn't matter what difficulty you have in your life, you can go through, right? It's not because you're the smartest one, you're not because you're the best one, you have to humiliating people. So that's why people have to understand. On the kid side, it's a lot easier to work. Right. But the adults, it's hard to put that because of the ego, right? So you have a muscle guys coming in, 100 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And get beat up with the kid with 60 pounds, 80 pounds,
right.
90 pounds. People, man, how this little kid, put me on the positions where it's impossible. It's respect each other. So if you see 3 guys on the street, yourself, example, ask yourself, you have a smaller person, average person, and a bigger person. If you have to pick one to fight, who are you going to pick?
Average, probably.
Well, maybe the smallest one.
Maybe the smallest.
Of course, people are going to look for the little ones because they think it's going to be easier.
Oh, yeah,
But you never know.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of challenges. Don't be afraid of issues. If it's me, I start, like I tell my students, I start with the problem first. Give me the biggest one. If I beat him up, the other one's going to run away.
That's smart.
Right?
Yeah,
so don't be afraid of challenges.
That's good insight. That's just good life advice in general.
And this what I give to my people. This is what I give to my students. Everything is possible.
Yeah.
But depends what you're really looking for.
Right.
What do you say to people that want to quit jiu-jitsu? They're just like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this because it's too hard. And how do you get them back into like, no, don't quit?
Yeah. You have this a lot in jiu-jitsu. People asking all the time, what's the percentage of who started and finishes a black belt, right? And look like a pyramid. It's going like this. You see a lot of kids getting promoted and gets a higher belt. It's less. Adults, same thing. First of all, you need to follow up with your students pretty much every day, right? See what, if you're looking for, if you're able to find the issue, what's the issue? What you got in the issue, right? You're a big guy. And if you come over and you start put a lot of muscle, you're going to get sore. The technique's not going to work. So, and you think you don't grow on your level, in your techniques, you don't develop what you're looking for. But what I tell to people, don't quit. Like you have a difficulty at your job with people, what your performers, what you're going to do, you're going to quit? No. You're looking for search what you can fix at the problem. And jiu-jitsu, same thing. That's why I say jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle, right? You have difficulties in school. Your grades are bad, but you need to understand why. You need to figure it out. Your teacher needs to help you out. Right. You have 20 kids, 30 kids, 40 kids in a class, your teacher will be able to understand all. So that's why school is a year round, right? So you got a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and you get going. So if you want to be a successful person, don't quit anything where you start.
Yeah.
So it's, that's why I tell especially the parents, don't let your kid be a quitter. Don't let your kid tells you, I don't want to do jiu-jitsu anymore. You need to find out why. I want to do a different sport. I understand. Everybody has choice to do a different sport. But especially, some people don't like when I say that, but if your kid walks home and tells you, hey, Dad, hey, Mom, I don't want to go in the school anymore, is a choice on that?
No. Yeah, well, you're teaching your kid to be a quitter, right?
Yeah.
And even if it's not that simple, eventually they're going to take it that way.
Yep.
Because they're just going to think, well, I can just do something else.
Exactly. And they keep jumping whatever you want to go. And that's why when people comes over to sign, especially kids are very important, right? It's the future of the world. And I asking parents, what you're looking for your kid, right? And they describe us, and then we have a plan with the kid, right? You have kids with some issues with HD8 or
like ADHD and
ADHD, or they have I forgot the other name. Autism, right? They don't be able to play other sports. But we have a lot of students, unfortunately, have that problem. And we're able to work on it because for us, it's a challenge where we like to do it. We want to prove Jiu-Jitsu is for every single person. It doesn't matter. And when we achieve our success with the kid, make the kid able to do other activities, what some parents do, oh, now I'm going to take my kid out of Jiu-Jitsu, I'm going to put him to play baseball. And well, you did it pretty much a therapy or something with your kid, works pretty good. Why you took your kid out of Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, you always need therapy.
Exactly, and always. And maybe the parents' frustration.
Yeah.
Right? Now he's able to play other sports. And I understand. My kids used to play 2-3 sports a year, including Jiu-Jitsu, of course. But Jiu-Jitsu never been an option for them to quit because you never have that conversation with, I'm going to quit. I want to stop. I want to take a break. It's not an option. It's a natural way to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why, I recommend, it's not because, this I tell parents as well and adults, it's not because I have the business academy, but this Jiu-Jitsu is part of my life. It's on my blood, right? I don't see students when they walking in as a business. I see as a potential person we can make change on their lives. And that's what we do in every single of our academies. If you go to visit any of the schools, it's the same environment, it's the same type of students, very friendly. Families are welcome. You do events with the family. We like be part of our family because academy is part of my house. So I spend more time in the academy than I spend time in my house.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like, people want to jump on board and be part of. It's not, I don't look at students as a dollar sign, right? Some people say, oh, no, you foolish. And I say, no, that is true. Because if I look for every single person sign up as a money, my relationship with them is going to be very short, right? So it's the opposite way. Let me show you the results. Let me see how it works. I want to see a cage fighter in our school train with a lawyer, with a doctor, with the engineer, with a little kid. They need to understand Jiu-Jitsu is for every single one. And people has different views, right? So that's what we're looking for.
You think a big part of the reason why your view is that way is because it's kind of like paying homage to what your uncle was trying to put out there, which was, the teaching aspect, the mentorship, much more than probably the business side.
Yeah, because when Jiu-Jitsu started, we just tried to helping people with look like a therapy, right? But you have to go through a lot of processes, and that's why Jiu-Jitsu became very strong the way it is. It's going to be way more, right? So, and my grandfather, my granduncle, my uncles, my dad, the whole family, we never trained anybody. They don't taught me how to be a fighter. they taught me to protect myself, you know, on a self-defense aspect.
Right.
And this was jiu-jitsu about it. We don't prepare ourselves to be a fighter because we don't want to fight in the street. We don't want to start beating people in the street, but we want to protect ourselves. So if people start it, we know how to finish. So that's the philosophy, because some people think it's a different way, right?
Yeah.
Today, let's say jiu-jitsu tournaments, right? People, I have a fight coming up this weekend. You don't have a fight. You have a competition. Fight is a different way, right? I have to compete. I have to go to the jiu-jitsu sport. It's not a fight. Fight when you go to the cage, when you go to the ring,
right.
when you fight someone in the street. That's a fight. But when jiu-jitsu is a sport, it's not a fight. You're going to go to compete like soccer, like a baseball, like a basketball, you know? So that's why I keep where I learned it from who I learned it, the philosophy with that. You know, and this is important because I remember when I moved from Brazil to the United States in 97, end of 97, and I tell a bunch of places ago, we start with, let's say 85% students, adults. Few kids, 10, 15%. Today, it's a completely opposite way.
Right.
It's kids came up with 80% of the academy. It's not because we're doing great with kids and not with the adults. The numbers is still the same, but the numbers triple, quadruple the numbers. But because the parents start seeing how good jiu-jitsu is for the kids, help them in the school, on playing other sports, because endurance, balance and everything, on the concept of everything.
Well, then the mental
yes,
discipline, like
exactly. And the adults are still the same. You know what I mean? Just the numbers, so people don't understand wrong. Let's say I used to have 100 students, 85 it's adults and 15 it's kids. Today you have 800 students in the academy, like in Tracy, and you have 600 kids and 200 adults, example. So that number shows you, and you know, the success of the jiu-jitsu with my grandfather started.
Right.
So to helping each other, right? To give a confidence, to show people how possible you will be able to run your life in towards to jiu-jitsu. And this is what you see my family, and this is what I got. You know, I'm very confident. I have a lot of confidence. I have a lot of self-esteem. I'm helping people, right? I don't mind. I don't want to judge myself. Oh, I'm the best, leaving people around. No. I want the people be better than me. Right? So that's the instructors, the teachers. Is not just don't teaching them some techniques because I don't want this person be better than me. I don't want to see this person has a business better than mine. Oh, his academy is blue and whoa, look at where I am. No. What I'm looking for is to everybody have a space. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to succeed. And this is what you see on my network, right? So you're helping each other. I have a program for teenagers to come in, to start helping, to get more responsibility. Maybe they don't work with us in the future, but they're going to get better on their work, on that school. So give a different concept. So that's important, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're improving humanity when you give humanity the tools to succeed, and it's not just like a bunch of snake oil. It's actual life advice, you know, life-changing.
Right.
I mean, even for me, like, you know, I'm 36 years old, and like, I started a little under 2 years ago, and I've completely kind of feel like changed my outlook on life in a lot of ways, and I think it's definitely because of jiu-jitsu.
Right.
The hell it's put me through, you know, to overcome, and then like the beauty and the peace it's given me, because I've been able to isolate things in my life that don't mean as much, and I've been able to just focus on a lot more important things like my family, my own well-being, you know. So I definitely see the value, and I think that's why most adults, once that clicks, That's when that's when they're stuck. That's when they're in it.
Yeah, and you know it, and that's what we have, right? That's from the root, you know. And today I see some people go to different route, you know, to make their life easier, right? So I want 200 students, but I only put attention in 10, 20, because those guys will be world champion.
Right.
Or the kids will be world champion. Well, what about the other 180? You're not going to give attention on it? You know, you charge them. It's wrong because they expect something back from you, right? So that's as important. You know, don't look in people with money. You know, you don't want to be a money maker because people trust you, right? Adults, they trust you. They come to your place, and you need to understand what they're looking for. Parents, they bring the kids to you. It's what's the most important for the parents?
Yeah, their children.
The children. So what the children need is attention. You know, and we're very honest, and sometimes parents bring the kids to signing up. We have the trials, and if we see the kid is not ready, doesn't matter what age, we tell them, right? Because I don't think it's right you take a person is not ready, especially the youngest ones, right? So you need to understand what they're looking for. Look like you buy a product.
Exactly.
So if you buy a product, you know, you expect to have this thing back from the product, you know? And jiu-jitsu is the same thing. And I see a lot of people on the internet, especially today, back then, in 97, 98, we don't even have pretty much internet. You know, I look in my forums because I keep all my students' records, and we don't even request emails.
Yeah.
You know, on the
Different
forums.
time.
Yeah, maybe it's not, you don't remember that.
I remember.
But, and the dialogue.
I remember you couldn't make phone calls when you're on the internet.
Exactly.
I remember.
You know?
How do you feel now? Like, I mean, coming, because the Gracie is a big name. And how do you feel like looking when you see stuff on the internet and you see more of the sport jiu-jitsu compared to what self-defense you guys were teaching with the self-defense part? I started in 2006, jiu-jitsu, because I went into the MMA world. And so what I saw was a lot of more positions before submission type of deals and really learning the striking game and how to defend yourself. But now I see more of the sports side aspect of it, where it's more like these crazy flip-flop somersaults, getting people in these different positions, which has evolved, right?
Right.
But how do you guys feel? How do you feel about it? Like,
well,
see stuff like that.
You know, I'm a very traditional guy. I'm an old school, and that's when I see some jiu-jitsu different from old schools to today. You know, it depends on everybody's goal, right? If you want to towards your competitions, just competing and those 50-50s, beating bolos and all that, that is fine. For sport, oh, it's great. But for self-defense, you're going to fight someone on the street. You're going to pull 50-50?
Yeah.
The guy's going to smash you. I don't have nothing against. It's the rules made by IBJJF. They do it. That is fine. But when Royce came and did the UFC, he don't prepare himself be a boxer, a kick, you know, Muay Thai or something. We did with the pure jiu-jitsu. The reason why Horion created the UFC is just to show the efficiency of jiu-jitsu regarding different martial arts. And this was the history of my family for many years when they did challenges in different places to show the efficiency of jiu-jitsu, right? So on the aspect of sport, I think it's a lot easier to teach in that way than adding the self-defense. The self-defense doesn't mean weapons, you know, kickings, punchings, but in search of different aspects. When you do seminars, I show some positions you can add in your competition positions of self-defense. And people can beat somebody else right away. But most of them, they just letting go the self-defense aspect and just start teaching the sport in jiu-jitsu because it's way less techniques.
Yeah.
Right? But on the details makes a huge difference. Look at my cousin, Rolls Gracie, right? He's a world champion several times with the basic stuff. You ever see him do any crazy stuff? Not just him, but some other good athletes in jiu-jitsu with the basic submissions.
There's something you did kind of crazy. 2002, right?
Yeah.
You soccer kick by KO. So can you describe to me, because when I read that I was like, I'm like totally a layman. You know, I don't get all the I'm new to a lot of jiu-jitsu and fighting world, so I'm just kind of like a dummy. But can you explain to me what is a soccer kick exactly?
The soccer
like straight
kick?
up, like what kind of kick is that?
Yeah, just you kicking straight to the ball is just a simple technique.
Yeah.
You know?
Lay down so he could show you.
Yeah, no. After maybe. Might not want to stand up or sit down for a while after that.
Yeah.
That's
But,
cool,
you know, it's it just needs to keep teaching what you learn, right? And like I said, a lot of people, I don't know the right word, but they try or pretend, I'm the best, or my place is better than the other one and the other one. You know, everybody has your pros and your cons. You can have 4 schools, one on each corner. Everybody has places. I cannot hold it every single student in one town. It's impossible. And some people maybe don't like me. Maybe some people don't like even with my name. Maybe they don't like across the street. You have a place for everybody. You know, I don't talk about other people. I talk about my place. I talk about me. I talk about my history and let people decide where they want to go. Why you have 4 gas stations, one on each corner with different prices? It's simple. It's a people's choice, right? So do your job, letting go, and the time is going to tell you who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah, I think as a students, like when we, like how you said, people might not like you, and it's like that's you being super humble. Jiu-jitsu showed you that. I think for like even me, I'm learning that because people talk about me. I'm like, call Ryan up, and I have to calm myself down because I'm ready to go and just do what I'm naturally, just fight. You know?
Right.
And I have to, as a martial artist and doing jiu-jitsu now, I think it's certainly teaching me to be humble.
Right.
Even if I'm driving and someone flips me off, I just want to go, but then I have to remember myself.
Exactly. Like, how many times you think people flip me off on the road?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out of the car every single time.
Especially if they don't recognize you,
Well, but you know,
hopefully they don't know who you are when they're flipping you off.
Well, but the thing is, this is what I learned from my family, from my grandpa, my granduncle, and everybody else. You know, when you're fighting a person doesn't know anything, and you're an expert in jiu-jitsu, what's the positive thing on that?
Yeah.
Get out of your car, and tell the guy, say, hey, my bad, or hey, that's not the right time. Hey, watch out because you probably have family. What about someone has a gun? Or the people on a bad day? Things can happen.
Yeah.
Make friends.
Yeah.
And that shows exactly what you were saying about the belts.
Yes.
Right? Like that's where we're at in life at the belt. So even if I was like a high belt and I did that, I'm not a high belt, by the way, but even if I was a super high belt, say like either purple belt or brown belt, and I did that, my mentality is really a white belt. Right. Because I'm still learning that process of how to control myself.
Yeah. And we have a joke because we're saying the blue belt, when the guys got promoted as a blue belt, is the craziest belt because they think they became a full instructor. Right? They start correcting people. They start teaching the purple belts, the brown belt. They think they know everything. But it's the hardest belt you have to go through.
That's pretty accurate.
Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and why in jiu-jitsu we have timing on each belt? Because mentally, that means something for the person.
Yeah.
And you working on it on your improvements, right? Where example, I don't give a black belt to the person is under 21 years old. because I understand on my concept, this is what I learned back then. It's you get mature and more, and you need to understand. When you receive a black belt, it's not just because you're a good fighter. You're good, beating everybody. But you need to be a better person.
Right.
You need to helping people, right? You have to give an example to the youngest ones or the lower belts. And the same thing with kids. The kids getting belts so quick, you think they are be the best. They think they're going to be ready to do whatever they want, but it's not. And it's not just by the belt. Because a kid who doesn't understand about belts, between yellow and orange is higher. So let's say the kid have an orange belt and get beat up by a yellow belt, right? There's nothing wrong. It's not about the belt. Because maybe the orange belt has a different goal than the yellow one, right? Maybe they put more hours on it and things like that, but they need to understand. Don't subestimate your opponent,
Right.
the problems you have. So you tap, nothing wrong with that. People are afraid to tap. Tap means you recognize that the person is good, and you need to work harder to don't get beat up by a lower belt.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with that, because jiu-jitsu, you can be, you can get someone even the lower belt. You can beat a higher belt, right? Depends on the opportunity, depends on the time, and how good you are. So you have different ways to, put the belts on people.
At Fighter's Edge Digital Marketing, we leverage Facebook and Instagram to elevate your business's online presence. Our co-founder, a dedicated martial artist, transformed his small jiu-jitsu studio into a thriving community of over 300 students using our unique marketing techniques. We believe in efficiency and simplicity. Our strategies capture attention with clear, compelling offers. Whether you're a seasoned business owner or new to digital marketing, we save you time by developing effective marketing plans. Our core services include targeted promotions, comprehensive annual marketing plans, and optimized strategies to maximize your return on investment. Book your free no-obligation call today and discover how Fighter's Edge can help you reach new heights. Visit them on their website at fightersedge.gymdesk.com. Once again, that's fightersedge.gymdesk.com, or call them now at 209-278-8206. Once again, that's 209-278-8206. Call now.
Speaking of belts, when I was younger, I did Taekwondo before I got into Muay Thai. So I did Taekwondo, and I'm going through a drive-through of In-N-Out Burger, and there's some guys looking through the window, and I was like, oh, this guy's looking at it. And I was with my girlfriend at the time. I was high school. So I said, hey, they're staring at my girlfriend. So I tell him, come out here. And I must have been like, I think I was a brown belt in Taekwondo at the time. So they come out, and they're older guys. So I get out of the car, and I get in this Taekwondo stance, and I'm jumping up and down.
Ready to go.
They walked away from me. I felt so dumb. But I had that mentality, like, I'm a brown belt. I can take these guys on.
You scared them, though.
No, I think they just thought I was crazy. Or still,
That's
like,
pretty funny.
Yeah.
They just left me there.
Like,
they
fuck
walked
this
away
guy.
from me. Yeah, they walked away, man. I learned my lesson. I was high school, but
Yeah.
Kind of cool, though.
So, you talk about the sport, jiu-jitsu and things like that. And, we have several examples in life, right? And we don't teach in our kids to beat somebody in the street, in the school, right? But we tell them, if someone starts, you need to know how to finish. And it's funny because some kids protect themselves. They did a self-defense. And parent comes talk to us and say, hey, this will happen in school, and I think I did the wrong thing, but I ground my kid. I say, your kid is right. People pick on them. They protect themselves. They took the kid down. Don't even beat up the kid, but told the kid to stop. The problem is, if it's my kid, I take to the ice cream store.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I have
yeah.
those before, because what I'm going to do, people pick on the kid and say, hey, don't react. So that's the buller. So that you granted them
Right.
the right to pick on someone. So I say, hey, don't bother this kid, you know. But after the day, the kid get respected at school. So, you know, we have kids starting, peaking, and we call them and they say, hey, don't do that. This is against our philosophy. This is against what we're looking for. What you're learning here is to protect yourself and protect the other ones.
Right.
So, you know, same thing with the adults. You know, you have the kind of identity when they go white belt, the blue belt, you know, fight in the nightclub and things like that. I say, man, that's dangerous, right? It's watch out. Try avoid it. But you have the ego, right? So that's why the belts are important. It's not just because you're good in the sport. Yeah. You need to understand the character of the person.
Do you think, in a way, and correct me if I'm wrong, the belt ranks could be looked at as time served? You know, like, it's not always merit. I mean, not merit. It's not always based on ability necessarily or what you know, but it's based on, like, how long you've been there and your consistency with training. Because, like, we all know that there could be a wide range. A brown belt is, I'm sure there's a wide range of how technical or how, I mean, every belt's like that. There's some casual practitioners that are brown belts, and then there might be some competitors that are brown belts.
Right.
And they're the same rank.
Exactly.
According to that, but that doesn't mean they're the same fighter or jiu-jitsu practitioner.
No, you're right. You can't, like I said, in our schools, we don't compare students, you know, because you maybe have different goal than him.
Right.
Maybe you has a little bit more difficult to learn some positions. And maybe you train twice a week. And this guy is animal. He trains every day, competing every weekend. So we're going to try push you on what you can provide to us, what you can take off from jiu-jitsu.
Right.
But it's not, you're only going to get this belt if you become a world champion.
Yeah, for sure.
You never want to compete.
Right.
You know, we look in tournaments today, have 3,000, 4,000 people, right? But this maybe is at 10% of practitioners.
That's crazy.
Look in your school, in every single jiu-jitsu academy, a percentage of how many people competing.
Yeah.
It's minimum.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I wonder how much of that do you think is cost related? Do you think it's not mostly cost related for the competition? Being smaller because it's for some people maybe out of their budget.
Well,
or do you think that's not? Probably
I don't think it's not the reason why people don't compete. You know, people are feel shy, get it difficult. Why jiu-jitsu? We don't have testings, exams to get promoted. How am I going to judge a person in 1 hour, in one day?
There's some people that try to be different, huh? Not to interrupt you, sorry, but that want to do exams for jiu-jitsu, right? Like some people try to do a test.
Yeah, some people do.
Yeah.
But when you have finals in school, some people just block. Some people just get shot, you know, it's blank.
Yeah.
Nothing comes up.
Yeah, bad test takers.
Yes. So how you evaluate, especially in jiu-jitsu, how good if the person knows or not. So you're going to give the test, they practice at home, and then comes in their action are pretty good, and you're promoting. You know, we prefer follow day by day. You know, people comes and say, hey, how long it takes for me to get my black belt? If it's adult, I ask, how old are you? Oh, I'm 18. Well, you know, 28, 29. What? Say yes. This is if you're really good. Why? Not just on the ability, but you need to know people. Because when you each belt you handle to them, you promote to them, they represent you. They probably gonna quit. If they do something wrong, they represent you. Right. So it's a character, honesty. You know, things like that, people need to understand. It's not just by how much you know, right? So we take a different way to promoting people.
Yeah.
One time my granduncle told me the reason why you make this, one of the reasons why you make the belt, to get black belt, that long, because you need to know the person. So it's representing you.
Yeah.
Right? So, and this was another thing we do in every single of my schools. We do a background check on every person who works with jiu-jitsu in our schools.
That's good.
You know, because you never know today. Especially you work with the kids and the females. We need to know who they are.
You got to provide that safe environment.
That's safe. That's really good.
And why, you know, example, IBJJF start doing background check when you want to join on them, right? It's because they need to know who they promoting. If it has any issues with the law, especially child molest, rapes, and things like that, it's important.
Yeah.
You know, the guy is a robber, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You need to know because it's a paper you give to them. When you promote someone and they have domestic violence and things like that, is convicted, people need to know, right? So that's why it's important, all this safe environment in jiu-jitsu, because getting bigger and bigger. So in our schools, we're doing that because you have kids, boys, girls, you have a female adult students. We need to know if you have any bad person. And if they know that, as soon as they know that, they're leaving. Because they don't want to be part of, because they know they're going to get caught. You know, and why I want a bad apple on my apple tree?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I want to make sure I have very nice students who wants to come to train on the family atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it feels safe. It feels safe for our kids. It feels safe for our wives.
And the same thing, you know, like I told you guys, there's people like to compete on the sport jiu-jitsu. You know, if you doesn't like to compete, but you come to train, why the guy's going to hurt you? Why he going to pop your arm? Why you going to, you know, pop your knee?
Right.
Oh, man, he trains like a CC or whatever.
Yeah.
But they need to understand you are on a different level.
Yeah.
Right? I have a lot of students, they don't like to compete. Some loves it, competing every weekend. But they have to respect each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I think that comes with it, because most of the guys that are probably, well, you would hope, most of the guys that are competing are their egos are a little more developed, and they're not quite the crazy animal that they could be if they're doing or fighting, actually fighting. Because I feel like when you're fighting,
you use the right word. You know, they could be animals, but I love to play with the lions.
Yeah.
But they don't have to bite me.
Right. You just want to know they don't.
Feeding them, right? And the same thing, you know, people like to come to train with tough people, but you need to know when you can push or not pushing.
Right.
You know, I use this example as a lawyer, right? Or civil engineer or scientist. Those guys don't want to compete. You know, a plastic surgeon, they don't want to compete. They want to have a safe environment.
Right.
So when he rolls with the world champion needs to help them.
Yeah.
You know, to pushing themselves, what they're looking for. And that's why in our schools, we keep eyes in everyone.
Yeah.
My instructors well training for give attention to every single student. During the class, is one of my students don't get attention from the instructors. A little touch in here, a little device in here, because everybody for me it's special, right? I treat everybody equally with the different treats. What that mean is what they need,
Right.
right? So imagine if you come to train and the instructor don't talk to you, the whole class, don't fixate this, don't give your attention on that. How you gonna feel like?
Yeah. You're just paying money.
Right? And then you only watch them, want to talk to them when it comes to renew their membership. So that's
I've been
wrong.
there before.
Yeah, exactly.
Not with you guys, obviously, but I've been there before.
I hope not.
No,
if
no.
it is, let me know.
No, I'm still here, so I think
can
it
fix
wouldn't
it. Yeah, but that's everything behind jiu-jitsu. It's a lot of stuff. You know, you just need to be honest with people.
be. Yeah.
You know,
How did it feel getting your black belt?
Well,
even the belt now that you are. Like, how's it feel?
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I never asking for in any of my belts, but it's always when you get your brown belt after a little while, you start imagine, and sometimes you get your uncle, he's going to the bathroom or whatever, in the house is a lot of Gracies, and you throw his black belt in your wrist, and you tie it, and you start looking, man, I'm looking good, but was something else. Yeah. It's different from any other belts. All belts are very special, especially the first one, but a black belt represents everything you did in your life for Jiu-Jitsu until the day you got your black, and you see it. Your journey just started. It's not the end. Yeah. And this is what I tell. I have 160 black belts here in the United States. That's crazy. In all this 27 years, and I tell every single one, your journey just started. It's not finished. So from now on, you're gonna start shows everything what you learn in Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, and helping people, of course.
So I came from a small town, and we didn't have like big Jiu-Jitsu gyms. It was back in, like I was telling you, like 05, 06, and we had a blue belt teaching us. And it was from a different person, but we'd heard about the Gracies so much through the UFC and then through, the UFC, whatever they were doing. And so when I first heard about the Gracies that were here, like I was like, I got to go sign up. When I moved out here, I got to sign up for the Gracies, because you look at the Gracies, this is where it started from, right? I mean, right. For me, this is where it started from. And I was a huge fan of the Gracies. Even to this day, looking up old fights, I've seen the MMA fights, I've seen your fights. I saw your fights. Like, to me, that's like just seeing you, the way you guys celebrate, and just one of your fights I saw, one of your MMA fights, just like everyone rushed you and held you up in the ring. Like, right. How did you feel about, like? Well,
because Jiu-Jitsu, it's a family, in the family atmosphere. The Gracies are like that. It's like that. Mm-hmm. And that's why you guys should see the train with a bunch of us, behind supporting, and that means support. Mm-hmm. Whatever happens, we are here to support you, not judging. It's not, it's the energy. Mm-hmm. And this is supposed to be in the life, supporting each other, helping each other, right? So that it's, example, when you say small town, I remember when I came, it's a few Jiu-Jitsu academies. Some people drive hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours to train back and forward, right? And when people talk about the Grace family, it's a big responsibility, right? Of course, because my grandpa started that, and it's a big family. And when I born, I already was part of the history. Mm-hmm. Even before, when on my mom's belly, I was part of the history because of the name. And some people make jokes that Jiu-Jitsu is not, the Gracie is not a last name, is a brand, right? But we did it all with love, with passion, because it's something belongs in our lives, right? So, and that's why I'm saying this, the success of Jiu-Jitsu, what we did is not, with the challenge, not humiliating people. It's just to show how good Jiu-Jitsu is, right? And we've been proving that today. Of course, before you have this many black belts or this many structures, and today you have way more, right? Before you can see on the Jiu-Jitsu tree, the who belongs to tree with the histories, and today it's so many, right? And unfortunately, some people jump in Jiu-Jitsu for the business atmosphere, with they don't even never did Jiu-Jitsu before, and they incorporate it in Jiu-Jitsu and put some black belt on their wrist, in the rib, on the uniform, right? But we see that, bothers me, yes. But what can I do, right? And people is gonna find out sooner or later.
Well, yeah, the mats don't lie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that math don't lie.
Exactly, but like you have bad lawyers, you have bad engineers, you have bad mechanics, right? But with the Gracies, we keep the root alive, right? We keep the sense, the fine, techniques and everything.
And I was going to ask you too, like going back in time now, when you were younger, do you remember when they were talking about getting out here? And because I'm assuming, in my mind, it's like a round table and they're all like figuring out what they want to do.
Well,
do you remember any of that?
We used to be all together in Rio de Janeiro, the whole family, right? But when Horion came, and he decided, comes with the UFC, the first Gracie Academy was in a garage, became a gym. And the same thing happens in Brazil back then, right? So Horion started to develop the Jiu-Jitsu on some police departments, and he brought some cousins, brothers, to help him out to United States, yes, to Los Angeles. And things just popped out, right? On 90s, my son just born, maybe 91, I call Horion here in the United States and asking if he has any opportunities for me to come to the United States. So he told me back then there's not too much opportunity for too many people.
Right.
It has a limited, but I already have that vision of how Jiu-Jitsu is going to explode, right? So, but then 97, I think was the right time for me as well to move to the United States. Maybe 91 was too early. What I believe, what I tell people, things happen in my life on the right time. God put the right people on my life on the right time. So I think when I moved, it's a great opportunity for me and all the difficulties we went through. But I appreciate more what I have today, where I am today, with this life what we have today.
Did you what was like the catalyst for coming here? Like, was it solely just to come to spread jiu-jitsu with your family, or was it also because the family was dealing with some issues in Brazil locally?
No, there's no issues at all. I think whatever who start moving to the United States is just opportunity.
Okay.
Because of the economy in Brazil, things like that, and the economy here in the United States. And this is the opportunity country, gives every single person opportunity to grow if they are hard workers, right? And I just saw opportunity for me to grow in a better place, especially for my kids, education, safety, and things like that. And Jiu-Jitsu is natural. It's something which when you learn, you can work in anywhere in the world. Right, so it's a type of, let's say, job. You can do it anywhere. You just can save your life anywhere you are, not just on the business side, but even if you need to fight for yourself.
When I was doing some of my research, I was pretty happy to find out that your father, Master Hobson, Grandmaster Hobson, sorry, he's going to be getting a statue in Rio. Is that correct?
Yes, some members of my family already have it.
Okay.
But they just opened a school there with my grandfather, my dad's name on it, and now they working on it to get a statue in there too. It's nice because the recognition of all his hard work, not just in Jiu-Jitsu, but in general, and on the publics and everything. So it's pretty nice. I feel very proud of. To see my dad's statue in some place.
Well, that's a huge achievement. Just because the way they worded it too was for the work and the contribution to Brazil, not just jiu-jitsu, like you said. So It's almost like a humanitarian award.
Yeah.
I feel like the city of Tracy should give you a
No.
statue because
I'm way far up
Yeah,
there.
no,
You'd have to pay for your own statue.
No,
Yeah.
the thing is, it's because they don't realize, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm a fanboy of the Gracies, okay? So, but the thing is that we have a Gracie here in our community and with such high stature with, you know, what you accomplished and what the family's accomplished in opening these schools up and to bring people in from all different backgrounds, even from, you know, even guys like look like me coming in here and training and having the opportunity to train. And it's done so much wonders just for the community. And I think that deserves a statue of its own, you know, of you and being a pillar of the community and the things you guys have accomplished. It's not easy just coming over here from a different country to open up a school, right?
Yeah. I opened my first academy when I came. I opened Daly City, 1997. Mm-hmm. And then we moved to Tracy in 2001 because the market was crazy in the Bay Area, things like that.
Right.
And then 4 years later, I decided to open academy in Tracy. First, it's because I used to take my kids to Daly City.
Oh,
2
wow.
times a week, 3 times a week. So when after school, we leave here 3:30. They eat in the car, and then they train in the kids' class in Daly City. Stays for the adults, and then they come back with me later. And I say, you know what? I'm gonna open a small academy in Tracy. Mm-hmm. So I find a nice place, but then on the first day with the grand opening, we sold out the registrations. Wow. In 6 months, we were able to double the size of the mats.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, yeah. Tracy was something else. Today, we have a location with 7,000 square feet and 4,100 square feet just with mats. So with all the difficulties we have before, like I said, it's nothing to never took me to quit, right? To give up. And where we are now, we're just very proud of it. We just want to be part of the community. You know, he wants to show people how good jiu-jitsu can be for every single one. Yeah. You know, we helping other sports, we're helping, you know, the kids' development, the adults' developments, and everything. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people doesn't know the history behind the Grace family.
Right.
You know, what they looking today is just the gold, or everything's great.
Right.
But they don't know the difficulties, the challenges we have in our lives. Mm-hmm. You know, in jiu-jitsu. It's funny because where sometimes people ask me, what's your main job? I say, main job? Jiu-jitsu. Oh, you raise your family with Jiu-Jitsu Academy? You say, yes, it's not a hobby. Mm-hmm. It's not, I have a main job and I working later on in Jiu-Jitsu Jumping Academy. You know, it's helping the community, you know, helping the people. Yeah. You know.
Well, it's a commitment. Like, you got to be all in.
Yeah.
And since you were,
and I looking back, and I'm very proud of what we did, how many people we changed lives. You know, we have people just change, they quit their job, and they became a jiu-jitsu instructors. Wow. They became, you know, their own academies.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And we changed a lot of people's life.
Oh, definitely.
You know? And we see some kids came with 5, 6 years old, and today is 17, 18. We have a kid trains with us for 20 years. Mm-hmm. You know, and then we see it. What you want to do? Oh, I want to gonna get my black belt and open my own academy.
Nice.
You know, so they changed their career. Yeah. And we're there for supporting.
Right.
You know, I never say no. You know, you can do it. If I did, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Mm-hmm. Everything's possible.
Yeah.
You know.
I got a random question. Because it's
only one.
That's how my brain works. No, have you ever done ayahuasca?
What's the?
It's like, you know, like peyote. It's like a tea you drink, and it makes you hallucinate.
No, if I don't know the name, I never did.
Yeah, well, I figured.
Yeah,
but I threw myself in a category there. No, the reason I ask is because it's interesting to me,
because a lot of people are using it for therapy, for their past trauma and to get over things. Some people are vision quest type people that like to,
Okay, I got you.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like take mushroom type thing. But no, I was just wondering just because there's no real reason. I just wanted to know.
Well,
I know it's a dominant thing in South America too, so I kind of figured, I'm like, maybe when you were younger, you didn't.
yeah, it's some people ask me those type of questions,
Yeah.
especially drugs or alcohol or things
Right.
like that. I never did. None of drugs. I don't, it's a people's choice. Everybody makes their own choice. But I grew up in a very mentally in a very health atmosphere. I have friends. We went out and they got drunk. I never drink. I started drinking some wine here in the U.S. But in
Wine's
Brazil,
nice, though.
yeah.
You can control wine a little better than that.
Yeah, but you need to be careful,
Yeah.
because when there's alcohol involved.
Right.
So, and people ask me, hey, Charles, how you can go out with a bunch of people, everybody drunk, and you are happy? I say, well, for me to be happy, I don't have to be drunk, right? I'm enjoying the friends, and someone you should be sober,
Yeah.
right? If something happened, keep everything under control.
Yeah.
But my friends never offer me to try any type of
That's
alcohol, or they all respect. They
Right.
know.
That's good.
You know what I mean? So it's not. I never have the curiosity. Some
Okay.
people do. Oh, let me try for curiosity, but
Yeah.
I never have. Never attract me.
That's cool.
I respect. If someone use it, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I never did because I never have that curiosity, and I think that's important, And my education behind was, don't do it.
Right,
or,
for sure.
It's not, it's bad for you because of this or that.
Yeah.
But I never have.
I think you should only have to do things you want to do
Exactly.
and what makes you comfortable. That's what matters
Yes.
at the end of the day.
Plus your example of your school, your example of the community, keeping yourself clean. I mean, kids are coming in, they see that, and they want
Right.
it. So you're keeping that positive.
Yeah, that's another point because your responsibility, your image, it's very important, right? I cannot come in here in front of the cameras and start speak about things what I don't believe, what I don't do,
Exactly.
right? I say, what kind of person is that? So you see the person say actions, bad words, and bad fightings, and actions, and things like that, and then he comes in the camera, he plays to be the angel or
Exactly.
something. I am who I am,
Right.
right? My history is there. So it's a lot of people behind me, depends on me. And like I say about the black belt, you represent something. When you give someone each belt, it's important. Your student, it's very important, just to be a student. But when you handle a black belt, they need to understand it's a big responsibility. I'm represent Charles Gracie. I have Charles behind me. So if I do something wrong, it's going to reflect on them. You know what I mean? So, and the same thing with my lifestyle, if I'm fighting in the street all the time, what kind of parent wants their kids involved with that?
Yeah, exactly.
So my kid's going to become an animal the same as this guy. You know what I mean? All my instructors, they think I'm a drug,
Enthusiast or something?
yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Drug addict.
They don't. Yeah, drug addict. They don't see me. I don't use. I don't use it in front of them. I don't use it behind them. I don't call your attention and say, hey, what you doing? If you're closer, if you're getting closer, then I motivating you to stop using.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu is the same way. I know some adults use some part or something to training before, and I don't think the beneficial for that, I don't think it's what they're looking for. Because, or if you get drunk, you go train, you're not going to learn.
No.
Your brain works in a different way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people using for after, maybe that makes sense.
Yeah.
But not for before.
I always felt like that. Like when I used to get in a lot of street fights. I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of fights. It's just how I grew up. Just grew up rough.
Yeah, don't take me wrong. I'm the same way. I'm
Yeah.
not an angel,
No.
but I growing up,
Yeah.
I learning, the higher belt you are, less fighters you have.
But when I've started coming, honestly, when I started coming to I'm just saying, when I started coming to the Gracies and joined this academy, I feel like everyone's been a really good example. So I feel like that part of me has calmed down a lot. Like it's like you see a good coach and they rub off on you and you're like, okay, you're like, I don't need to be that guy that needs to go out and just get it in fights or a bar fight. I can be this guy that's quiet and that's humble,
Right.
that's more down to earth and calm. So I feel like that's rubbed off on me a lot. And it's changed my mentality where it's like, and I'm trying to even be with my son. My son's a student at the Gracies now. And it's like, really want to be a prime example. Like, okay, son, this is how you train. This is how you're going to do things. You don't need to be in my footsteps where you have to go and get in street fights,
Right.
just to prove who you are, and I feel like when I did learn mixed martial arts and Muay Thai, I took that into an extreme where it's like, okay, I know how to fight now. I can go and fight, and I can go to these smoker events, go box people in the ring, but also handle myself outside where my ego got control of me.
Right.
But now that I'm here at this school and a part of your academy, I feel like that's gone. Like it's washed away from me. Like I don't have an interest in actually even doing that stuff anymore. All I want to do is jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu all day.
Yeah, that's good to hear that because that makes more proud of, Paul
Yeah.
and his staff here in the Mountain House, and make me proud of what we've been doing because, when you avoid fighting the street, doesn't mean you're a coward. Means more you're a very humble person, and you avoid maybe get killed because people can pull a gun on you, right? And we talk about self-defense, and the guy is a few feet away from you. What you gonna do, right? And the chance for you to get killed, it's high, especially in the world today, and it just the way it is, right? So we just try teaching people how to be humble, how to be respectful, and this affects you in home, right? Instead of yell to your kid and spanks or whatever, gives you a patient, works your patient. It's your kid, it's your house, it's your wife. So everybody has issues, right?
Yeah.
But don't lose your temper, don't lose your control. It's the same thing in jiu-jitsu. When you are on the bad spot, on the position, what you're gonna do? You're gonna get panic. Calm down. Same thing in the life. Yeah. Calm down, work it on it, get the issue resolved, and escape from the position. When it's locked, nothing you can do. But you have way to get out of the way from some submission, like a chest. It's the same thing. Until you're not able to escape at all. And that's why that you can translate for lifestyle, right? So you never give up until the position is locked. You never give up until you don't see a way for your issues get out. So that shows you, put you more calm. Show you don't have to fight everybody. You don't have to argue with people. You don't have to yell. So it's different.
Yeah. The Gracie name is Scottish descent.
Yes.
Have you ever been back to the homeland?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Do you have any desire to go out there?
Well, I want to. Yeah. It's on my list. But be honest with you, I like my house.
Yeah. That sounds nice, right? Getting on a few airplanes, not probably the most relaxing.
Yeah, I have my house. I have a big challenge because everybody likes to travel. But I love being home. I love to come home and see my kids, see them, especially now my grandkids. Enjoy the time. And it's hard for me to get out away from the academy.
What's your favorite Brazilian dish?
Well,
how do you keep in shape? Because you're pretty in shape.
Well, I don't know if that's a good question to counter favorite dish.
Yeah, no,
It might not be
but he's
healthy.
in shape though. Just looking at him like
we have you know, of course, first was the Grace diet. You know, we have all the special diets.
I tried to follow it, but it didn't work too well for me.
Well, everything depends what you sacrifice, right? But Brazilian barbecue is great.
Yeah, I like
We cook it a different way. We have some other dishes, you know, different names, and it doesn't have the name in English.
Yeah.
But I love it. And we brought everything in here far as about how we cook, how we eat. Yeah. You know, we never ran away from the Brazilian style, you know, the kitchen. Yeah. You know, we have normally we call the salt meal in the lunchtime. And we have a lunch because normally we're waiting for the kids to get out of the school, so we can sit everybody on the table, 3:30 or something. Then we have lunch, and later on we have a dinner, you know, and the breakfast in the morning. But we cook, doing everything like in Brazil, you know, the meals and everything.
Do you do the acai bowls too?
Acai, yes.
What is that? What's the deal with it? Because I saw it on a video, so I started doing it recently. I was like, I'm gonna go get me an acai bowl. I don't know why, but Jiu-Jitsu guys are doing it, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Is it like?
I remember acai is a berry fruit.
Okay.
By Northwest in Brazil. My grandfather, when I was a kid, he brought from they used to live in that town on the state, but when they moved to Brazil, he started bring it over, buy it and bring it over, and then a couple of stores in Rio, they open up. And I remember when I was a kid, my friends comes to our house and I make acai, right? My parents make acai for us, and then I offer to my friends, hey, you want to try? What is this? Yeah. And I say, oh, this is acai. Let's try. It's good. Man, they try it. Nobody likes it. Never. But looking now, it's all over the world. Yeah. Right? So, but it started pretty much, you spread out in Rio. And acai, it's a very rich fruit. And it's part of our diet, very rich in iron. And if you have acai, you can replace with one of the meals. How rich, how good it is, because it's not just the acai, but you have a honey, you have a couple other berries. Depends the way you like to prepare. You know, I use a lot of or coconut water if you have excess, or use apple juice. Sometimes you can use just the water, and then you put some bananas, some dates on it, and some honey. And then you make a smoothie, a very thick, and then you have maybe 2 bowls with granola, and maybe the tapioca is something from Brazil if you bring it over. But as you know, I know a lot of people like the smoothie. Yeah. But I have 2 times a week, 3 times. Sometimes I have the acai as a meal.
Oh wow! Like in a bowl.
Yeah. Couple bowls.
I was gonna ask you because you said you wanted to go. You like being home. How do you unwind at the end of the day? What's the process?
The what?
Like, how do you relax? Like, when you get home and you're done with work, what do you do to relax?
First thing I do, and I tell everyone on my friendship, first thing I do when I walk home, I turn it off my cell phone. Nice. Turn it off. I don't put it in silence, mute, and I put it in the drawer, on the charge, and then I enjoy my family. You know, gets home, take shower, eat, talk a little bit, you know, family.
Quality time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, and then watch a little bit TV, and then go into bed. You know, but one of the things I learned, especially today, everybody's connected on the cell phone, right? On the table, we don't have cell phones. We talk each other. If you go out to eat, my kids knows we don't leave the cell phones on the table because you need to enjoy the time. Know each other, keep talking, and you know what I mean? Instead of everybody be on the cell phone.
So it's not like everyone's over and everyone starts doing jiu-jitsu. And so I heard like the Gracies are always doing jiu-jitsu. Like, you know, they have family gatherings, jiu-jitsu is happening.
Oh yeah. Before we move in here, when we used to grow up in Brazil, in Rio, we go on the weekends on the beach, because in Brazil normally people has a beach house or a house in the mountains, and we go for the weekend, and guess what? Training jiu-jitsu, positions, on the beach, on the sand. Hey, last night I thought about some position. Let's see if it works. And then we start working on it and techniques, and
cool, man.
and people looking at us because it's not too popular
Yeah.
in Rio back then. People looking at us and say, "What this guy's doing?" And grappling each other, grab each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes you wake up on Saturday or Sunday, and I say, "Hey, let's check this. I trained this last night on my room." And the girlfriend, he tried this few times on me. I'm tired, So we laugh in each other.
That's funny.
But jiu-jitsu is like that. So in my house, it's the same thing. And people say, "Oh, I wish I can do it," but I did, because you get connected on the phone, and even if you don't, if you put your phone on the side, how many times you're gonna look and see if someone texts you?
That makes a noise. Yeah.
I tell people, who knows me, if it's emergency, they know how to get a hold of me, especially my family.
Yeah.
If not, they can wait until next day.
Absolutely.
It's that simple.
I got to be honest, Master Gracie, when we had you coming on, I was nervous. I was like, oh, we have a great, because like I said, I've been a fanboy of the Gracies since I was young. And having a Gracie, just being in the presence of one, is super honor.
No, I feel honored for you guys giving opportunity to come over and talk a little bit about jiu-jitsu and the experience. It's nice because jiu-jitsu deserve that. The instructors, they deserve all the success we have today.
Well, definitely.
Especially my grandfather, because he's a big visionary. And I knew he expected that results today. If he's still alive, then he said this when I on my vision, because it's the reason why he have 21 kids.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And my granduncle 15.
Wow.
Because they want to, not a fighter family, but develop jiu-jitsu. What they looking for. So that's why they build what they building before, and they build what all this what we see in today.
Do you have any information? Last year, ESPN Films announced that they're going to be doing a Gracie documentary produced by Guy Ritchie. Do you have anything? Do you know anything about or anything to talk about?
I don't have any deadlines or something.
So I haven't heard any other developments about it, so I don't know whether it got
but I think they're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, but
of
course we have some issues with the COVID,
right,
and some other things coming up and put people behind. But I think they're working on it.
Okay.
Hansel knows more.
Yeah.
He's like a Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
Well, ESPN Films. So ESPN.
I've watched a lot of Hansel's fights. I've watched him since the Pride days.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Yeah, I think he's the one in all the Gracies. I think he's the one got the toughest fighters, in the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you have, when Royce fought back then is a different level, difficult and everything. But I think if you see the history of all of us, he's the one got more tougher people, but we're happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Gracies are a beautiful family, and I can't thank you enough for coming on and giving us an opportunity.
Anytime.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. You have anything you want?
No, not really. I just wanted to. Well, one more thing. I always ask music-ish questions.
You should have some of the superhero question too. That we could ask.
What are you? What do you have? Are you into music a lot, or are you not really?
I listen to any music.
But I was gonna say, what are you listening to currently right now?
I like Phil Collins.
Okay.
I like Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, good.
Oh.
You got good taste.
Yeah. I like Supertramp. More than that time. And I remember I think I was 16 years old or something. Genesis went to Brazil, to Rio, and my sisters bought tickets for the show. And
was that when Peter Gabriel was singing, or was it Phil Collins?
Phil Collins.
Oh, okay. Crazy.
Yeah. So, and that's why I like Genesis or Phil Collins today, because they left one ticket. because someone don't show up. They left one ticket in my house.
Wow.
And then my grandma said, why you don't go? Oh, I go by myself. And my grandma says, no, I put you on the bus. Just go straight on the stadium, and then you take the bus back.
Hell yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm going. And where I am on the bus, straight to Maracanãzinho. And then I sit on the bleachers there, and those guys, man, big show.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
You almost didn't go.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my sisters don't want to take me. I'm too young, you know.
That's so cool that your grandma was like,
Yes.
get out of the house.
Yeah,
Go do something.
I have a good memories in the family. So, but this was, when you're asking, I like those type of that, even for a little bit older,
Yeah.
people. But I like those type of.
I grew up listening to that kind of music, so I love that. Yeah.
I like it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, and then that was a good.
We always ask this question. If you had to choose a superhero to be one, which superhero would you be?
My superhero always, I don't, without doubt it, is Rolls Gracie. Nice. Rolls is my superhero.
I like that.
It's number one.
Yeah.
Of course, my parents and everything, but what you're looking at, what I have, it's my uncle. Mm-hmm. I'm missing him a lot.
You think he's like, because for me, like my grandma and my mom passed, and I look at them as kind of like my angels that look over me. Do you think Holes is like definitely your guardian?
Yeah.
Kind of looking over you?
Yeah, Rolls, I think it's, yes. Not just for me, but a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. But always I have him on my mind, and always I wish he's still here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, we maybe, is it okay if we put a picture of Holes?
Of course.
Okay.
Please, do it.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Yeah. That's the man. Mm-hmm. Whatever people say, he's the man.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Or not first, but one of the few times, officially.
Yeah, and like I said, thank you. It's been such an honor to interview and talk to you. And if anyone's looking to join Jiu-Jitsu, the Gracies is a place. Charles Gracie, you have Charles Gracie Tracy, Charles Gracie Mountain House, Charles Gracie Livermore, Fremont. I mean, you name it. The Gracies, Modesto, Ripon, new facility in Galt. I just saw recently.
Yeah, and we're looking to open the newest one in San Bruno. Yeah, by San Francisco Airport.
Dang.
Yes, we have.
Kind of by ceremony or something?
No, it's in San Bruno by 280.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yes, right nearby the airport. Yes.
Okay.
Between 101 and 280.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be a nice place. Chris Garcia is gonna run the place in there. We have a very nice crew. Yeah. Even if you're not nearby us, if you contact us and looking for some places, if I know the people on the area, I recommend. Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure people sign up on the right place.
Yeah, because on your
jiu-jitsu.
website, you do have a affiliated gyms section as well.
Yes, I have.
Also where you have a lot of Nevada gyms, other Northern California
Sometimes
areas.
people call us, or even our students, they move into a different state where we don't have schools. I tell them, say, hey, make sure looking all the schools nearby you guys can go with the easy access. Send me the informations, and I look in each ones. And if I know someone, if I knew it, who it is, I recommend some places. If I don't know, I don't recommend at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to refer people to go to the wrong places.
Yeah, that's much appreciated.
Yeah, I'm here just to help.
Yeah.
I'm a helper.
It shows, and we need all the help we can get. So.
Yeah, and you asked me, in off about my dad when he passed away. What's crazy because we don't even expect that. I feel very lucky because when I received my 7th degree, he came over from Brazil for that, but he hates airplanes. He doesn't like it, but he came over all the way here. And then I'm pretty lucky because I flew to Brazil to get my 8th degree straight from him, and he passed away a month later. Wow. But I feel very lucky because I was the last person get promoted from my dad.
Hey, you know, you might have been the one help keeping him alive for a little more. Because sometimes they say people, once things are done and people pass on around them, they let go easier. And he knew he had more work to do with you, so that's good.
Oh yeah, you
That's
know,
awesome.
I feel very lucky. That's why I'm saying things in my life happens, you know, and I know God look at us, you know, because it's just my dad, very healthy, you know. We was able to spend time with him on the day when I got promoted. I took my grandkids, my kids, my wife, everybody went to Rio. We'd spend 2 weeks together. You know, he met my grandkids. So we have a very good time.
That's awesome.
And then a month later, he just passed away. So I feel very lucky to get my belt from him, and was the very last one he gave, not just the belt, but certificates and everything. So it's a legacy, you know, we need to continue.
That's beautiful. I don't know if we could end it on a better thing than that. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep this legacy going. Sign up, join the Charles Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Go on his Instagram, follow him on Charles Gracie at Tracy. It's Charles Gracie Tracy Jiu-Jitsu. Easy to find, right? The Instagram. And if you have any questions, email Master Gracie. He'll be Charles Gracie. He'll be more than happy to contact you guys. And
Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button down over there.
Exactly. Check it out. No,
Check it
those
out.
guys doing a very good job.
Yeah, we
Interview a
appreciate
lot of good people. And just one message, you know, never give up on anything in your life.
That's perfect.
You know, keep your dreams, make your dreams a success. You know, and that's the way for you to achieve your goal, to achieve your dreams. And you have to believe what you're doing. Because if you don't believe, nothing's going to happen. You know, Jiu-Jitsu is not about to win or lose. It's about to win or learn. And the same thing in the life. Don't let the difficulties beat you down, you know, because the difficulties just make you stronger. And that's the way I build myself. You know, any difficulty I have in my life, it should make me stronger. And continue doing Jiu-Jitsu, or if you don't do it, start doing.
Os.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. That was beautiful.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.